Hello YouTube. So today I will be teaching you guys about a mod for Minecraft called ComputerCraft. I will be teaching you to program in it. I have made lots of programs for it in the past. Hold on, let me just... Sorry, I just fudged that. I just messed up, sorry. I don't use the program I don't use the alias program very often. I'm just setting these up, sorry. There you go. Okay guys. So as you can tell, these computers. I'll be not teaching you the crafting recipes or anything like that. So first of all, bam, you place down a computer. It's obviously physically there. But when you enter it, there's nothing. It's just CraftOS 1.7 and then a little greater than symbol. And a flashing dash. Now, this is where you type in the code, like, well, for example, in this case, this is the terminal prompt. This isn't the code. There are programs, obviously. One of which is dir. It stands for directory. It shows you all the files in the current directory, which at the moment we are in the directory /. See? It won't tell you that we're in /, but we are. We are in the root directory, otherwise known as /. Now, in here, you can type in cd/ and you'll see that you're in the same place. That's just proving that you're in /. cd will move you to a different directory. For example, I type in dir for directory, and there's a file in here called rom. Now let's see if that is a folder. So dir and then rom, which obviously is a folder. And if I do dir rom /, that shows me APIs, autorun, help, programs, and startup. So now what we're gonna do is show you the programs. So if you go to dir rom /programs / it'll do that. Now here's most of the programs. Advanced Command, Fun, HTTP Pocket, lots of these things. But those weren't programs. RedNet is a program. Turtle, well actually, no that's not. That's a folder. Alias is a program. APIs, CD, edit, all these are programs. Most of them. Edit is to edit files. So what you do is you type in edit, save that prisoner. Sorry, somebody's playing the video game in the background. So edit, and then the file name. Let's say file dot, let's call it file. You don't need to write in .lu or anything. Now you're in the code prompt, where you can make programs. See, the bottom left it says press Control to access menu, and the bottom right says line 1. As you go down lines, it'll help you keep track on the bottom right. For example, we're on line 7. Now if you press Control, obviously it'll open this menu. And in the bottom left, there's save and exit. You press an S to do save, and it'll say save to file. And you can do E to exit. And now we're back to the terminal. But you see that file is still there. So, edit, let's go back into file. So edit file. In here, this is where you type in your code. Now, first and one of the most basic things is variables. You'll be using them a lot, so that's why I'm covering that before more basic things. So, to define a variable, oh, by the way, a variable is a name that can hold information, like in algebra. X equals, you might see something like this in algebra. X equals 5 minus, in parentheses, 6 times 2. So in this case, the answer to this math equation, in case you're wondering, would be, let's see, -7. But But in our case, we're not doing that. So x, let's call a our variable. Now init equals, and now you can type in a number. You don't need to do anything. But if you want to type in a string, which is just letters or like a word, then it's gonna give you an error. You try to run, well, I mean, it's gonna give you an error if you do something else with it. But what you gotta do is you gotta put it inside of quotation marks. If you don't put it inside of quotation marks when it's a string, it's not gonna work. Now, if we run file now by just typing its name, nothing's gonna happen. It's because all it does is define a variable. Let's say A is ABC. Now let's make a couple more variables. B, ABC, D, E, F. Let's do this with the alphabet. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H are all variables, which, all, well, actually, H, I, let's do the next one, I, just the symmetricality. So, this is the alphabet, they all hold the alphabet, so, that's how you define variables. Now, if we run this program, of course, it's not going to do anything, because, it's just defining a bunch of variables. What's the use of that? Also, if you'd like to put two variables, like define two variables on one line, just put a semicolon after the first variable definition, to keep adding different ones. But for this example, we're not going to do that. So we have the entire alphabet saved in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 variables. But what's the use of this? Well, now for the print function. Print prints stuff to the screen. So if we type in here 1, 0, print 10, file, it's going to print 10, right? Because, integers. But if we let's type in, say, word. This is going to give you an error. Well, it's not going to show anything, actually. Because it thinks that word is a variable. Remember, as when you're defining variables, if you're typing in a word or a string, otherwise known as a string, you put it in quotation marks. So, now, file, it's going to type word. Print word to the screen. Now, obviously, as I just said, that if it's not in quotations, it's going to think it's a variable. We can type in, like, A. As you can see up here, it says ABC is stored in A. So, let's try running this. See, it shows what's in A, ABC. But what if we wanted to put the entire alphabet in here? The entire alphabet printed. What else we can do is I'm going to type in A, B, C, A, F, alphabet. I'm going to call that. I'm going to call this variable that. And it holds A dot dot. It holds A dot dot. Oh yeah, when you're trying to... Now, for example, if we wanted to connect two variables in one variable, you type in the first variable name, but then two full stops or periods, or dots, whatever you want to call them, and then the next variable. Now this will print A, and then it'll print B. So let's print alphabet. Oops, I messed up. So now let's print whatever's in alphabet. See, A, B, C, D, E, F. As you can see, there's two different variables, N, A, and B. Now, let's do this with all of them. There. Now this is all of the different variables. All next to each other. And this should print the entire alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Because that's the alphabet, and that's what we put in all of our variables. So that shows every single variable. See? So that's the basics of variables. Now I'm going to show you Hello World, for example, just because. But in case you didn't know, Hello World is the first broadcasted thing ever. So it's widely used. Let's make a variable that H, just to use what we just learned. H, hello, comma, space. You know what? No, hello. And W equals world. Now, hello world is actually written like this. We're gonna do that in a minute. So, hello world, let's type, so that's H and W. Let's type HW equals H dot dot, and then if you want to put a string, which we are gonna do, we're gonna put a comma and then a space. You type in quotation marks and then whatever's inside. So comma space dot dot, and then you can write in another variable. And then we're gonna write that at the end. Now print HW. What this does right here is it says H. H up here is defined as hello, and then dot dot, which means that there's another thing, and then in this case it's a string, so it's just comma space, and then dot dot W, which is world, and then dot dot another string, which is an exclamation point. Okay? Now it's gonna print whatever's in HW. So file. See? Hello world. So that's really most of the basics, but let's look into loops. First I'll show you a while loop, and then I'll show you a for loop. Say I equals true, for example. While I is equals true, what this 2 equals means it's wondering if I is true. Oh yeah, true and false are both booleans. You can write them without strings, without quotation marks, and you'll be fine. While, let's just, actually, you know what? In program, it automatically recognizes that it can automatically recognize while true do. It's basically saying while the computer is running, while this program is running, do, and then whatever's in here. And then end represents outside of the while loop. So in here we can do print, let's say, oh world. And what this will do is it'll repeat whatever's in here forever. But you'll see the error that comes up. So file. Boom. Hello world. Doing that as fast as it can process it. But just wait a moment. bios.lua155 too long without yielding? What's that supposed to mean? Well, I'll show you now. Since this is doing it faster than, just as fast as the computer can process stuff, you don't want to do that. So that it automatically stops the program because, you don't want it to crash your actual computer. So now, sleep function. This makes it wait for a second. You type in the amount of seconds inside of the parentheses. So let's say 0 seconds. This gets around this whole too long without yielding thing, but it actually does slow down the processing. So this is one way to get around that whole too long without yielding thing without removing any time. But let's say 1 second. Oh, sorry. Let's say 1 second. So every second it'll print hello world. So what it does, while true do, okay, life is true. So print hello world. Okay, it prints that, and then it sleeps for 1 second. Does nothing for 1 second. And then it ends, which goes back to while true, because a while loop. Now let's run file. Hello world, 1 second later, and it keeps doing that. And it'll do it forever if you let it. So if you hold control and press T, and if you hold control and hold T, it'll stop it. It'll terminate the file. There are ways of stopping this from being possible, but So that's a while loop. Now let's do for loop. This is for doing something over and over again a specific amount of time. For I equals 0, that's the I is generally used for for loops. You can run whatever, since this is a variable. For I equals 0, which starts at 0, increment by 1, do, print hello world. But you're probably like, hey, wait a second, you said this does it a specific amount of time. Yeah, that's the next line, 100 times. Actually, 101 times since it starts at 0. Let's have it print out. Actually, you know what? Since you can print variables, let's have it print what's in I. And then, of course, end the loop. So, I equals 0, this is the starting position, and this is the variable. So, while I is 0, so I is 0 at the beginning. It adds 1 every time, and it does this 101 times. And it'll do this program, it'll do whatever's in this thing 101 times. And it'll increment I by 1 every time. So, of course, let's print out what's on I. But actually, we're going to do something else. We're going to write. What this does is it prints it, but it doesn't put a new line at the end. You know how the other things, it was like print hello world, and then wait a second, and then do it again? You saw how they weren't going next to each other? They weren't like hello world, hello world, hello world. It was like this, you know? Not like this. If it was like that, then that would be a problem. But write can make it do that. So let's save this and go out and write file. 0. What? Wait a second. Have they changed this? I think they've changed this. I'm not sure what just happened. Oh yeah, write automatically asks for input. So, I forgot about that. They've changed it since it used to. So, print that. They don't want it asking for input, so print it. Oh yeah. Wait. I think they've changed this. Sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. They've changed how this works. They've changed how this works. Sorry. Look. Let's I equals 0. For I 100 do print I. Sorry, guys. They appear to have changed it. Let's see how it works. Sorry, they've changed for loops. You can look that up somewhere else. I know about while loops still. So, I equals 0. Now we can do while I is then less than symbol, 101. We're doing 101 because it won't print it the 101th time, but otherwise it'll just count to 99. Do, and then now down here, and print I. This will print it counting up. Oh no. Stop this. I forgot it to count. I forgot to make it actually count up. Sorry, guys. So it just. So that's why you don't do while. That's why it stops it for the yielding thing. And then I equals I plus 1. I think you can do I plus equals 1. I don't know. Who knows? Let's see if it comes up by 2. Nope. I plus equals doesn't work. It doesn't work in this programming language. So I equals I plus 1. Fine. Counts up to 100 instantly. So you're like, oh my god. We don't have time for that. So let's sleep for 0.05 seconds. This will make it possible for us to see. It's not sleeping for 0.05 seconds, obviously. It's sleeping a little bit longer. It's sleeping a little bit less than that. Sorry. So, let's see. Let's make it sleep for 0.5 seconds. 5. Boom. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And it'll count up to 100. Now, you obviously don't want to see that, so let's make it go faster. Shall we? 0.1 seconds. file, it's going to count to 100. And you can just see every single last number. There you go. And now, you probably want to know how to ask for user input. Like, say, what if we wanted them to see how much to count to, you know? Let's say input. While I is less than input do. So let's see. This obviously doesn't work. So you gotta define what input is. The best way to do this is to write how count to ... Let's do that. Input equals read. That's how you do that. Now input is the variable, and read, which means it reads the input. So now input is a thing, so this will work. File. Count to 101. Wait. Attempt to compare string with number. Expected got string. Oh yeah. Wait. I forgot how to convert integers to strings. Well, this just goes to show that you can't use strings when it needs a number. You can't use words when it needs a number. It considers what we're doing right now a word. You know, let's make a password system, because most people are going to use that. Let's make a login thing, you know? Let's remove file. RM stands for remove, it deletes the file. So clear. Let's clear the screen. Clear obviously clears the screen. So, but if you do something edit startup will override what happens at startup. Let's say print welcome. You know how it normally does this, CraftOS 1.7? Now, if we reboot the computer, it'll say welcome. But of course, I like to clear the screen before that. So shell.run, shell.run clear is the best way to clear the screen, because it does it on one line and it's short and it's straightforward. This means in the terminal, run the program, clear, and then print welcome, obviously. So startup. Let's run startup. Welcome. Now normally it just does this, right? Now let's reboot the actual computer. Welcome. Now let's shut down now let's completely shut down the computer. Go away. Go back. Turn it back on, and it says welcome still. So this is our startup program. Isn't that useful? Oh, sorry. Didn't realize what I just did. Let me just turn on the render distance. The recording takes a lot on my computer. So does Safari. Okay. So edit startup. So now let's log in. Let's say LP for login pass. No, I'm just kidding. Pass equals, and then whatever you want the password to be for my account. In my case, I'm going to be AH101. I like that. Username. You can also use usernames. Let's say, for my example, make a Jake. Shell.run clear. This clears the screen. Oh yeah, we're defining variables here. They're strings, obviously. Sorry that the dang rain keeps happening. Ah. What? I hate it when it happens. Okay, there we go. Sorry about the rain. It drives me insane today. Shell.run clear, and then I want it to write username. It'll ask you for the username. User in for username input equals read, of course. Now write password, colon, and then pass in equals read. But you see how this has things on the inside? You can write a string for it to show up as the letter. So let's put an asterisk inside of that. I'll show you what this does. So let's run startup. Username, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter right now. But the password, you see, it'll show up as asterisk. I'm typing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, E, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That means if somebody else was in the computer with you, they would know what you're doing. They could see. But they don't know what the password is because of this. They can't get in without the username and the password. So let's terminate this. Edit startup. So, that's obviously good, right? So now, if username, user input equals to user, then inside of here, if pass input equals to pass, then shell run clear and shall run sh. But else os.shut down. Okay? Of course, all of these put os.shut down in. Thing. And that's how it works. And since we have two if statements being opened, if makes, look, now I'm gonna explain if the variable user input, which is the input up here, user input equals read the user input, equals to whatever's inside the variable user, which up at the top is make or take. Then if the password input, which is being read right here as asterisks, is equals to whatever's in the variable password, which is AH101 over there, then shell.run clear and shell.run sh. This will say welcome to CraftOS 1.7, and then you can use the computer. But if it's not, then shut down the computer. And if the password's incorrect, then shut down the computer. If the username's incorrect, shut down the computer. If their password, if they get the username right, but their password's wrong, then this will shut down anyway. But if they get the password right, but the username wrong, they'll shut down, and they don't know what they got wrong. Now we've done this all in. Now this looks like we're done, right? But no, since we have two if statements, we have to close them using end. So end. Since we have two if statements nested in each other, let's just put in two end. I'll just do this for indenting's sake. Now let's run startup. Now let's see, I have a problem. Let's see what the problem is. Line 9. And, okay, I think that indent messed it up. Nope. I wonder what's wrong with the indent. Well, let's see. Let me see what I just messed up. If user input equals blah blah blah. To open, I think you have to do 4 times because you're opening it and closing the ends. You're closing the ifs and you're closing the ends, so that's 14 and once in another one. Why did I do that? Okay, something's obviously up. Oh yeah, I just realized the problem. And for that if statement. But remember, after the code inside of the else, you have to put an end. So let's try that. And that worked. So let's say blah 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 is my username. And my password was let's say blah blah blah. So that's obviously not correct, so it shuts down the computer. My username is Maker Jake, but the password is blah blah blah. But the password, if the username is correct, the password's incorrect, nope. Username is incorrect, but the password is correct, nope. If the username is correct and the password is correct, then it'll let you in. Now let's go back over this code one more time, because I've been told I go a little bit fast. So username is Maker Jake. This defines a variable that says what the username is. The variable is called user to stand for username, and what's inside of the variable is Maker Jake. This pass stands for password, it's a variable, and what's inside of it, AH101. Shell.run, this means in the terminal, which is the shell part, run, which is the run part, obviously, and then inside of this, it's running up, obviously you put a string in here, run clear. So this runs the program clear. If we run the program clear ourselves, it'll clear the screen. So over here, write username. This writes to the screen, but without putting a new line. Username, colon, space. And then it asks for your input. User input, which is the variable, is read. Read means to read the input. Write, and then it writes password, and then it reads the password, but it reads it as an asterisk. If you have nothing, then it reads it as what it is. But in this case, the password's a little bit more important, so we put an asterisk instead. But if the user input equals to the user, which means it's correct, if user input is the same as the username, then if the password input is the same as the password, then run clear and then run sh. But if the password is not correct, os.shutdown, end. But if the username is not correct, os.shutdown, end. Now clear obviously clears the screen, and sh runs that little craft OS thing. So we reboot. We have our little program. Make Jake AH101. I'm gonna make it run sh, but then it's gonna say, well, print welcome, and then why not? Let's use a variable user. Startup. Boom. Make Jake AH101. And of course I messed something up. I don't know I really don't know what I messed up in this. But yeah. And there you go. That is the basics of the ComputerCraft mod. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Well, I don't really care if you do the first two. I just like to hear your feedback. Of course, likes. Of course, ratings. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you don't like it, dislike it. I mean, I want to know. Comments. I'd love to hear your feedback of whether this is good or not. If you have any problems with it, tell me what the problems were. I'll try to fix it in the future. Please don't be rude in the comments to anybody, nor myself. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Subscribing really helps make the channel bigger.